Well, good morning, church. It's Wednesday the 16th of December, and I'm up for the devotion this morning, and I'm just going to be in the book of Mark once again, and just want to share with you some thoughts that I've been having on reading the Gospel of Mark, and just so that you know, it's my birthday on Friday, so I want you to know that, just because I'm looking forward to that day. And if you feel led to buy me a gift, then I will willingly accept. I'm only kidding, but just looking forward to Friday. So I just wanted to share with you this morning about making sure that at this time of year, as Christians, that our hearts don't become hard to the magnificent work that God has done in allowing His Son to come to the earth. And I know that we often consider Christmas time and it becomes familiar, and yet we must remember that it's a magnificent thing that Christ came into the world. And if you see the book of Mark chapter 6, what we find is the disciples were with Jesus, and it seemed that often he would perform these wonderful miracles, and their hearts became hard towards it, and it seemed like what Jesus was doing became familiar. What we find in chapter 6 is the miracle of Jesus feeding 5,000 people with 5 loaves and 2 fish, and at the end of that miracle we find that he sat them down on the grass, and they gathered up the leftovers. There were actually leftovers, and they took up 12 baskets full of fragments of the fish and the bread, and it says that those who had eaten the loaves were about 5,000 men. And when even thinking about that, I think how would that be? How could that be other than the miraculous works of God? But straight after that, we find that Jesus walks on the sea, and his disciples are terrified, and it says that immediately he made his disciples get into the boat and go before him. He sent them before him to the other side, to Bethsaida. And while he sent the multitude away, and when he sent them away, he departed to the mountain to pray. And when evening came, the boat was in the middle of the sea, and he was alone on the land. And he saw them straining at rowing. They were struggling, for the wind was against them. About the 4th watch of the night, he came to them, walking on the sea. He was walking on the water, and it says that he would have passed by them, so he must not have even been looking at them. It was just like he was walking down the street, and they were struggling in a boat. And when they saw him walking on the sea, they must have seen him walking along the side of the boat. They supposed it was a ghost. They were scared stiff, and they cried out, for they saw him, and they were troubled. But immediately he talked with them, and he said to them, "Be of good cheer, it is I, don't be afraid." And then he went up into the boat, and the wind ceased. And this is the bit that got me, really. It says that they were greatly amazed in themselves beyond measure, and marveled, for they had not understood about the loaves, because their heart was hardened. And really, that really struck me. I've never really considered that before, that the word teaches us here that one of the reasons that Jesus walked on the water and allowed his disciples to struggle and to be terrified was because they'd misunderstood the magnificence of the feeding of the 5,000. And it says because their heart was hardened, and that word hardened actually means to be porous, like marble, to be porous like a rock, to be made of stone. it means to be unperceptive as a rock, or unresponsive, and I kind of think that, you know, often at this, certainly at this time of year, but maybe often in our lives spiritually, our hearts become like rock. They become porous, and we fail to really give Jesus the glory for his magnificence. So I think really that is what I wanted to share with you this morning, that perhaps this day you might give Jesus the glory that's due. You might give God the glory that's due unto his name, because of the just the wondrous things that he's done. And maybe as we approach this Christmas time, we can be thinking about our hearts and asking the Lord to make our hearts less like rock, make our hearts more perceptive to the things that he's done and the things that also he is doing. And I pray that we'll have a great Christmas time together. But that really is what I feel God would say to us today, is make sure your heart's not hard towards the wonderful things that he's done and towards the wonderful things that he wants to do in our lives. I think often we can miss out on what God's got for us because we're too busy doing our own thing, and our hearts, as it were, become unperceptive. Well, God bless you guys, and I pray that you'd have a blessed day as we approach another week, and then next week we see Christmas at the end of it. So God bless you. Have a wonderful day.